Hi, hello guys. I'm starting this day early in the morning in Chinatown, and I didn't even plan for anything specific. So I just wanted to explore the area and see what new clothes are available. The street was were so quiet, and yeah, and I enjoyed walking through it, the local shops and stalls. And I didn't even find any of the thrift stores here, and so I checking here, but there's none of the things. But I founding a brand new clothes, and these fabrics are so good quality. And yeah, and after the Chinatown, I headed to Haji Line. I was so curious to see if there are any thrift stores open around that area, but unfortunately, Haji Line is usually full of life. But on the time, it was all closed. I was in the early morning. They are only opening at 2 o'clock, so I was very early eventually. Far away, I found one.
We've actually been here for 4 years already. We are essentially a curated vintage clothing store. What we do over here, 80s, 90s, 2000s, pop culture related vintage. A lot of movie tees, music tees, cartoon tees, stuff of that nature. Let's have fun.
This was a small thrift store run by a friendly woman. She was so kind and enough to speak with me.
As you know, actually, we're the same people that open up the place over here from Lukams. We've taken over here the concept's a bit different. Mainly over here is more about having fun, trying out new styles, new outfits, got a bunch of items for you guys to explore around. The whole idea over here, we want to encourage customers, just step out the comfort zone, go crazy with the outfits, try and explore things you guys are not used to wearing on a daily basis. I'll quickly share with you guys our pricing system in store over here, how it works. It works a bit different compared to Lukams. Over here, we run by A-tier pricing system in store. So if you all see through the 1 piece, 3 piece, 5 piece price for this particular item, actually the whole idea over here is the more you buy, the cheaper the items.
Guess what? Something surprised me. Some of the clothes are even expensive than brand new. The price ranging from $40 to $50.
The outfit consists of a tank top, jean shorts, and my Birkenstocks. Whenever I go thrifting, I expect a laid-back vibe, unique clothing, and a welcoming environment. The most I'll spend in a thrift store really depends on which item I'm buying, such as if I'm buying a t-shirt, probably won't spend more than $15, and if I'm buying something like a jean jacket, probably won't spend more than like $30. The perfect thrift store would be a very chill vibe, low prices, and unique clothing items. If I walked into a thrift store and I noticed it was unappealing or unattractive, I would immediately question if it was a good idea for me to be there. I just probably wouldn't end up buying anything. I like to DIY my clothing that I thrift because, one, it's cheap, and if I mess up, not a big deal. But some of the clothing I like to DIY are jeans. I like to cut those into shorts, and some t-shirts I like to crop them so they look more cute. My favorite non-thrifting clothing store is H&M because they have a very casual and laid-back look. The environment of a thrift store does matter to me because if I walk into a thrift store and it feels uneasy or sketchy, I don't really feel comfortable buying clothing from there. My favorite thrift store is Monkeys because it's right down the road. They have a great vibe and they're very welcoming, and I just love the style they have. Monkeys has a lot of jeans, t-shirts, tank tops, jean jackets, and other unique clothing. Employees are important just like in any other store because if I walk into a store and I feel unwelcome, I don't feel comfortable shopping there. I choose to thrift because I like to save money, and some of the clothing just looks better to me rather than like normal stores.
Right now in Singapore, especially among young peoples, according to her and him, they are saying more Singaporeans are starting to prefer second-hand clothes than a brand new. It's because of their unique choices and styles, and it's also lower price. But for me, surprised, I found something like $40 to $50, and the suitability factor also matched it. She also explained how her stores receives donations from more areas, but some of the most 80% of donations has been thrown away because of the material quality has been become worse. And second, I met with a guy who ran a thrift store nearby, and he also shared his own perspective, saying that thrift store and culture is not just about buying cheap clothes. It's also about buying and expressing individually and finding clothes. Yeah, and that tells a beautiful story. For him, running a thrift store, it's like a curtaining a collection of forgotten fashion to take it as alive, so that still has some more value. And after exploring these shops, I sat down with my friend who is very passionate about drift culture. She also told me about her fashion sense has changed over time because of drifting, and I was surprised. She told she no longer shops at big commercial brands or she's not even buying brand new clothes. She always enjoys discovering vintage clothes, and she also supporting smaller business. She enjoyed and mentioned how drift fashions allows her to be more creative and fashionable than brand news. And yeah, that makes sense. And how she often mixes old styles with modern ones to create a modern look. So anyway, in drift culture in Singapore is still developing, but it's definitely genuinely gaining popularity among college and younger students and younger audience. And think one of the reason is global influence of sustainability is because of more young students are aware of how fast fashion affects the environment, and that's pretty cool thing from wasted resources to pollution, and they are looking for alternatives, and there we can find a solution is the only thing is the drift. So and drifting allows people to reduce waste and reuse clothing, and that might otherwise this can be thrown away, and it also supports a circular economy which is better for our planet. And another reason is why means drift culture is personally style over trends. Instead of everyone wearing the same things from same brands, drift culture shows the vintage style, interesting pieces, and reflect who they are and shows the personality. And that's why it has gained so much of popularity among many younger lives. And yeah, thank you.